But I just wanted to say something funny. I was working with someone recently, and they said, but I was suggesting kind of putting the ball on your court and kind of doing your bit and see what happens, you know. And she kept coming back and saying, but why do I have to do all the work? And it's really just that little idea of someone else should do it, you know. Why do I have to do it? Causes so much upset in the doing, where if it's like, I'll do what I can, you know, with pleasure. I don't have to do everything, I'll do all the time, but I could do what I have available for me to do. I could give the $1 I have in my wallet, you know. It's just I just always think it's sweet, but
it's like, I would add to that and say, you know, to me, if she said to me, you know, why do I have to do all the work, I would kind of flip it on its side, because this is the other side of the coin. I would say, yeah, why do you have to get all the fun? You know, why do you have to get all the joy out of the relationship? Because that's where the joy is.
Yeah.
The joy in the relationship is in the being present and being in the feeling of love and being in the feeling of humility and of letting go and of not standing your ground and of just wanting to share and just wanting to contribute. That's where the joy in the relationship is. The joy in the relationship is kind of being the wallflower and basking in the sun in a certain way, you know. So that's, you know, why do you have to do all the work? Well, because that's where all the joy is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I always feel like I enjoy. I shouldn't say this in front of my wife right now. She's gonna call me on it, but I enjoy compromising more than I enjoy winning an argument. What's the joy in winning an argument? You know, I proved my point. I got my way. What's the joy in that? But the joy in compromising and letting go and kind of pushing myself aside because of my love, because I love her and I want to make her happy and I want to share with her. That's pleasure. That's joy. It is, isn't it? And then you're not allowed to remind me of that later on. Now my wife's written me a note here, but I can't read her writing. No, I can't read your writing at all.
Could you really not read my writing?
No. So you're going to have to say it. Go ahead.
I want to take a question.
Oh, yeah, a question or two. We just tried to take a question or two,
We
honey.
didn't even have time to even think about it.
Okay, great. So you guys have had a chance to think. Any questions? Or any you know, things you want to add? Or things you want to disagree with?
I'll say something if no one else is.
Oh, okay. Good old Bonnie. Can always rely on her.
This is just something that really came to me as you were talking earlier about expectations and goodwill and how, you know, it's kind of an up and down thing. And it occurred to me that expectations are just thoughts. You know, we really can't control the thoughts that come in, but understanding that those thoughts and that we might still be feeling the expectations. Mm-hmm. That it's that understanding that can keep the goodwill there until those thoughts pass, and you know, and then we can kind of balance out, and understanding that that's not the time to engage in the deep expectation thought, whether you know it's an expectation or not, because the feelings are of that, you know, it's not going the way I want or whatever, he's not meeting my expectation, and really get in the way and cause things. I don't know if I made sense, but
also, Bonnie, seeing that is what keeps the ball in your court. It doesn't matter how long it takes and what's the process and what you have to go through. It's the fact that you see that keeps the ball in your court. It's not him that's doing something wrong. It's that I'm committed or really attached to something that's causing me a lot of upset here.
Yeah.
Very, very good. You know, we gave a class once to a bunch of
gosh, don't remind me of that.
A bunch of singles, and they're like mid 30s, and We were talking about expectations.
Oh, they were ready to murder us.
Oh my gosh, we were like gonna be like eaten by 12,
Lions.
20 lions. It was like, oh my goodness, it was a terrible class.
It was quite incredible. They would no, you have to have expectations, and you must, and people have to behave a certain way. And we were kind of wondering to ourselves, I wonder why these guys are single, you know?
No, but I think there's a misunderstanding with expectations. That there's a really, really big misunderstanding where you think if you let go, you'll be a doormat.
Yeah.
Now, it is true that I feel a lot of times in my relationship that I'm a doormat. It's true.
And I feel the same way, honey. We both feel that way.
I do think that, but I don't mind because I'm a happier person being
that's
a
what I'm
doormat
saying.
than trying to not be a doormat.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but every so often I think, he's so annoying. He gets away with everything because of these principles. It's so unfair. I'm such a doormat. And then I'm like, well, at least I have a good life.
But that's the funny thing, you see. We can think about that, and this again comes back to separate realities. We can think about that on exactly the same issue. I'll be thinking exactly the same thing as she is. I'll be thinking, you know, she gets away with everything. She didn't treat me properly over there, and I've just let go of it, and I've just overlooked it, and I've just forgiven. And on the same issue, she'll be thinking, he didn't treat me properly there, but I've just overlooked it. I've just forgiven. Now, if you want it in the world of form, try and resolve that mess. Good luck. The only way you're ever going to resolve that type of thing is when you move past it to the feeling again. And then that feeling kind of purifies you. That feeling kind of just takes you back to the beauty of the relationship, and then you forget everything.
You know, I guess what it is when I think about it, it's like the reason I say I'm a doormat, because on form it looks like I'm a doormat, because if you looked at what I did and how I was, it looks like she's such a walkover.
In your own thinking, of course.
No, I'm saying maybe in the world's thinking, yeah.
Maybe. The world might see it like me also.
Oh yeah, no, they might. You also could be a doormat. I don't mind. We can both be doormat. But the thing is, I'm really happy. I'm the one who's in a funny way choosing to be what you would call the doormat. I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to get over this again. I'm going to forgive again. I'm going to just let him again. Because I somehow have a preference of, I rather have love, or I rather be happy, or I rather live in a nicer feeling than fight, than get upset, than be resentful, than hold it against him, than whatever it is. So in a way where I feel like maybe in some situations people are not choosing to be a doormat. They just are a doormat through their misunderstanding. They don't have choice. I definitely didn't have choice once to get over myself and to just forgive and just get over it. I didn't even know how to. If you would tell me to, if you would say, oh, just choose to be a doormat, I'd be like, well, I just am a doormat. I don't choose to be a doormat. You know, because I just have to do what he says, or I don't know how not to, or you know, whatever it is. So I think that the difference is, if you looked at the detail, it looks the same. But if you look at the feeling, it's very different. Because when you choose, when you have the ball in your court, you can do all sorts of things that sometimes make no sense at all. And people will have judgment on them, and people will be critical of them, and people will say, no, you shouldn't do that. Don't give in. This is a principle, this, that. But when the ball's in your court and you're accessing from your wisdom, your strength, your creativity, and your resilience, and all that, you're totally okay with what shows up, because you're coming from a very, very different place than when you're kind of working out of that feeling, I guess, through just, you know, habitual thinking or upset or a dictatorship or whatever it is you want to call it, you know? So it's just interesting, because the truth is, it doesn't look different on the outside. I could say, sometimes I have a couple will come and they'll tell me their fight yesterday, and it's all so dramatic and upset, and I think, I had the exact same fight with my husband. But it doesn't matter. Like, whatever. There's much more lightness, because I don't I'm not, because, and I really believe it's only because I feel I have a little bit of more freedom of mind and understanding around it. So I don't feel such a prisoner and such a victim. And I used to be more of a prisoner and a victim because I didn't know how to look after myself and be happy and forgive and not just begrudge and resent. I didn't know how. I had my way of how I went with the thinking that I had, and I didn't even know I'm thinking it. I just felt it. But the funny thing is, often I do the same things. Often I'm giving up on the same things and forgiving and moving on, but with such a different feeling, and all just, it's just funny. It's just coming from a different understanding.